Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. I was just thinking about the new iPad 9.7. And right in the name there is of interest because we've gone back to just calling it an iPad. It's not the iPad Air 3 or any other nomenclatures. They've just gone right back to it's just now the iPad and differentiated by the size, but most people are going to call it an iPad. I'm reading here, I have an article from Forbes. And so it's an interesting article. It's by Gordon Kelly, and he makes some interesting points. Basically, this article talks about what the differences are between the 9.7 2017, the new iPad, versus the iPad Pro, versus the iPad Air 2, versus the iPad Mini 4. What I came away with, though, from this article was a lot of reasons why I wouldn't buy the new iPad. And I guess I have to preface that by telling you that my iPad, I'm using it right here to control the G85 that I'm filming this to talk to you guys with, is an iPad 4, I think. So it's few iterations now. It wasn't the Air 2 was the previous one to this new one. And then there was the Air, and then I think that's where mine falls in, was before the Air, before they started calling it the Air. So I was thinking, as I've talked about in the past with phones and iPads and lots of different things, I tend to skip an update cycle now, so that when I am updating, when I am upgrading, I'm getting a real bang for my buck. And it saves me money too, because I'm not getting just some minor updates, which is usually what happens if you update at every update, unless there's something earth-shattering that's happened. So by skipping one or even two, I mean, my Samsung Galaxy S5 is what I'm currently using. When the S8 comes out, I'm going to get an S7. I should be able to get it at a great price. I go up 2 updates in phones, and because I'm waiting for the third one, the S8, but buying the S7, I should get a great deal on it. So that's why I was disappointed with this iPad, because I was thinking that having waited, mine being, say, a 4, I missed the Air, I missed the Air 2, and now this was like 3 updates. I was thinking it was time to update the iPad. And maybe what I'll do is update to an Air 2 if I can find a really good deal on one. I don't know, my iPad 4 is still working very well with the Panasonic app, with the cameras. So maybe I should leave well enough alone. But here's the reasons that I would not buy the new iPad 9.7 2017. Okay, first and foremost is size and weight. Actually, I shouldn't say first and foremost. These really aren't in any order. They're just a bunch of reasons that added all together make for a disappointing new iPad. So the size and weight are not typical to Apple, lighter and smaller. It's gotten wider and heavier than the iPad Air 2, which was the 2014 previous iPad. So that is kind of disappointing. That in itself wouldn't be a deal killer to me, but it certainly adds in with the other reasons. That's 1 and 2. The next reason, 3, is that they've downgraded the screen. Apple has removed the anti-reflective display coating that was previously on the screens, which was a big benefit to a lot of people, especially if you're in bright light or outdoors. And for a lot of people, that might make this a deal killer. You may not buy that iPad based on that single reason alone. So that's number 3. Number 4 is the power. And when I say power, I'm talking about the horsepower. I'm talking about the computational power, the processors in this sucker. The new one has an A9 dual-core 1.84. Let me put my glasses back on. 1.84 gigahertz GPU with 2 gig of RAM. CPU and a Power VR GT 7600 6-core GPU with 2 gig of RAM. Now the Air 2 had an Apple 8 times A8X with a triple-core 1.5 Typhoon CPU and a Power octa-core graphics CPU with 2 gig of RAM. So you've actually seen some cost cutting here, and I think it may be close, but I don't think you're going to see any improvement in horsepower here. If anything, you may find that the Air 2 being on benchmarks is going to be better than the new one. So number 4 is, at a bare minimum, no real advancement in horsepower, and quite probably we're going to see it's lacking against the previous model. And then number 5 is the cameras. Not only is the horsepower in the camera, or the horsepower in the for the iPad altogether not really any better, the cameras are remaining with the same optics from the 2013 iPhone 5S. So this is getting very dated. This is 4 years old. So that means no 4K video, which in this day and age is getting to be a de facto standard. No optical image stabilization. And the front camera remains the 1.2 megapixel. And it's really only good for very basic video conversations. Not much else. So is pretty disappointing. These are old camera modules and no advancements here, remaining with 2013 technology. So that was that's a big one for me. Not that I use my iPad a lot for the cameras, but that's a very old technology for what is supposed to be a brand new, like 4-year-old technology in the tech world is old. And there's a lot of good competition from Samsung and other tablet makers. Really surprised Apple seems to have dropped the ball here. Now, the flip side of these 5 major reasons I wouldn't upgrade is that I guess they're lowering the price a bit and trying to keep the price competitive. I still think it's a premium product when you look at what Samsung has available. But those are my 5 reasons that I won't be upgrading my iPad 4 to the new iPad. Bear in mind, I did say I may still buy an Air 2. Actually, it looks like the Air 2 might be a great deal if I can get a good deal on one. What do you guys think? Do you agree with my 5 reasons? Do you disagree? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know which way you would go, or if you're in agreement with what I'm saying here, or if you're actually in disagreement and you think it's a good release, and let us know why. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com.